to introduce our candidates. With me, I have Rifaat Abrams, Rifaat Bowers, and Miranda Abrams, our candidates in the Athlone area. Respectively, Rifaat Bowers is the candidate for Ward 49, and Miranda Abrams is our candidate for Ward 60. Let me ask you just to say a quick hello to everybody. Let's start with you, Rifaat.
Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon everybody, and we trust that we'll be giving you some relevant and pertinent information pertaining to our candidacy as your upcoming ward candidates.
Miranda.
And my name, Faiez Jacobs, is Miranda Abrams Hermans. I am married to a Hermans. He'll be very angry if it's not there, but thank you for that. I represent, or I'm the candidate ward council for Ward 60. And like Rifaat said, let's see how we can make a difference to our community.
Great.
Somehow different. Yeah.
Thank you, Miranda Abrams Hermans. Thank you for that question. I know that double barreling is not that common in our community, so I accept that. Let's start with you, Miranda. You, I think both of you are grounded in our communities. So for those that don't know you, tell us a bit about who is Miranda, where do you come from, and a bit of your background and history.
Okay, let's start with the history, a bit of history. I'm not going to divulge the age though, but I'm still young, hip and happening. That's all I can say. I come from Bonteheuwel, Silvertown, from the Cape Flats, eventually ended up in Silvertown, very active in my community in the 80s. Part of the then Cape Youth Congress. So as you can see, we've been always active in our communities, whether it's as youth, as adults, as and as where I am at the moment. I am married with 2 little children. Well, not little anymore. They're adults now, young adults. And since I got married, I moved to Cybrand Park. So I've been in the area for 26 years, 27 years to be exact, yeah. That's a little bit of myself.
And how about you, Rifaat?
Okay, in a nutshell, I was basically born in District 6, raised in Woodstock, but a lot of my teenage life was in the Athlone area. So I completed my schooling from 1976 to 1982. I was at St. Columbus High School in Newton Avenue. I also taught ballroom and Latin American dancing in the Athlone area for a good couple of years. And I relocated my rehabilitation center to the Athlone area about 6 years ago because I actually saw the need, the dire need in the Athlone area for addressing substance abuse problems. So I wanted to be in the heart of the action where everything was happening. So I relocated the facility to Athlone, where I've been for the past 6 years. For the last 2 years, I launched an NPO called Community Foundation and Community Network. And basically, I discovered that there was so much poverty within our community, the Athlone area. So we started this network and foundation, and we run a feeding scheme, we run food parcel distribution, helping with gender-based violence issues. So we effectively try to offer, or we're still trying to do that, is offer a social upliftment service within our community.
Okay, we're going to get to the issues. I think if I can also add from my side, both Miranda is a well-known activist, a youth activist in the 80s, as she's saying, but also community leader in her own right. Rifaat, he doesn't talk about it, but he was also the owner of Club Lennon. So that was the other role that I thought he could outline. So that's a bit of their backgrounds, deeply rooted in our communities, very committed to our communities. How have your history, your backgrounds prepared you for this role that you're going to embark on as the ward candidate for your respective areas? Rifaat?
I think I'm probably the most unqualified political figure because I've never ever involved myself on the political arena. However, I believe that I have championed and mastered the humanitarian side of things. So I would never want to see myself as being a politician per se. I'm more of a humanitarian wanting to do good within our community and for our community. And I'm all about uplifting our community. And one of the biggest things that I am very passionate about is that I have seen, especially with young people coming through our rehabilitation facility, the amount of talent that we have within the Athlone area. So one of the things that I'm passionate about is that Athlone should become a vibrant economic hub once again, and it should be business in Athlone for the people of Athlone by the people of Athlone. So one of my things is if you have a business in Athlone, I don't want to see somebody coming in from Belleville South to be employed in Athlone. I want people from Athlone to be given jobs in Athlone.
Okay, thanks, Miranda.
Can we just, I'd like to say to the fact, I think you've got it all wrong. You are actually a politician without you knowing it. And the fact that you, and this is where we as the ANC need to look at our community leaders. I think Ward 60 is going to be a bit of a challenge, not a challenge per se, as I live at the back of your ward. It's just a train line that divides the two of us. However, for me, and I'm passionate about my people. So for me, I always thought that side is my people, but also forgetting that this is a challenging, Ward 60 is challenging in a sense that I go to Ward 60 and it's my ward, Sabran Park, so Garlandale, and
Just,
then
Miranda, just for the audience, just share with us what is Ward 60, what suburbs and areas it covers.
Yeah, so it's Sabran Park, Garlandale, it's Rondebosch East, it's Lansdowne, and it's Kenwyn. So it's a mixture of a little bit of everyone. And for me, to build in the area, it can't be that the ANC comes in there. And even if, how challenging it is, even if we don't get that margin that we need to do, I think we need to be consistently working in the area so that people can see that we can make a difference. We are making a difference. We want to make a difference. It can't be that Q-Town, Bokmakiri, Hazendal looks the way it does, but then you come to Sabran Park, Garlandale, it's always clean. So the inequality of the wards for me, and it's just the train line that divides us, that is where we need to work together as communities. For me, that is the passion that I have. Yeah, that's what I basically want to say.
Great inputs. Look, I think there's a lot of synergy. If I can just summarize or paraphrase, Miranda, you talk about Athlone in its greater totality, that we, even though Rifaat is your neighbor ward candidate, and he covers what I think it's Bokmakiri,
Hazendal, Q-Town, Status Heights, Bridgetown, Silvertown, and part of Parktown, I believe.
So I think what we're saying here is that Greater Athlone has an array of mixture of people with different issues, and so we must be mindful of those issues. Let me just share with you, sir, starting with you, Miranda. what do you think are the key critical issues for our communities in our areas that you've mentioned?
I think in the area of Ward 60, it would be the local economy in the area. We need to uplift that. Then we have the security, obviously, is a major issue in all areas. We can't use it just in the one particular area, but in particular in the quiet middle class area. Why do people target? There's apathy, there's socioeconomic. For me, the EPWP program, I think you were part of it. You were part of the inception of that, Comrade Faiez, that started. I'm not sure whether the city of Cape Town is still having the EPWP programs, you know, because for me, to me, it seems that our security is in jeopardy in the areas, and that's what everybody's looking, policing in the areas. And then the huge tariffs, doesn't matter whether you live in Bokmakiri or you live in Lansdowne, the huge tariffs, and then we get told the water tariffs is not going to change because A, B, and C, you know, and then the electricity, it's for, and especially during COVID, it's really getting communities down, including the Ward 60, including Garlandale, including Sabran Park, no different from Bokmakiri or Hazendale. Yeah, so that for me is challenging.
Rifaat, how about your issues?
I believe that the issues that I feel has reached an epidemic proportion in Ward 49 is the fact that as recently as Saturday afternoon, I had to intervene with a case with a 12-year-old full-blown Turk addict wanting to stab the father to and that came out of Bokmakiri. So my first and biggest challenge would be substance misuse. Secondly, I believe, and stemming from substance misuse, you will find increasing crime. So crime is going to be a big factor for me. And the fact that crime stems from substance misuse is because they will break into your home, especially in Ward 60, where they will break into your home because it's a little bit more affluent, and they will break in to support their habits. That's the first thing. So we need to look at substance misuse. We need to look at the crime issues. And here I'm saying that we need to hold accountable all the law enforcement agencies. And we need to trump up more support in order to have a more inclusive Metro Police and SAPS. So it is a twofold situation that I feel we need to trump up more support from these two security agencies. Third thing, the level of poverty has to be addressed. There are just far too many people. I see it when kids come up to you and they say, this is their first meal that they've had for the last 3 days. Now that is unacceptable. It is completely unacceptable. So the high levels of lack of basic services, food, needs to be addressed. The other issue, backyard dwellers. We need to address that as a matter of urgency. Another issue that needs to be addressed is the high rate of businesses, which I understand was caused by COVID, but the amount of businesses that is closed down in the affluent CBD. I remember 15, 20 years when I was operating Club Lennon, it was the Athlone was your hub, your main economic hub. People used to come from all areas to Athlone. Right now, Athlone doesn't even have a bank. in the CBD to service the people of Athlone. So the people of Athlone now needs to go to either Vangate Mall or to Lansdowne or to Kenilworth Centre for banking services, which is completely unacceptable. So it effectively means that economic empowerment has been taken away from the people. We should be giving our youth real opportunities at maintaining financial stability and business and entrepreneurship opportunities. I believe that there is a very high level of school dropouts in our ward, and I believe that these are kids that needs to be encouraged. Now, the current Western education system allows for kids to be expelled if they are found in possession of or testing positive for substances. I don't believe in that. You cannot expel a kid for that. You need to get that kid the necessary assistance and professional support services. So I believe that that is something that needs to be addressed as a matter of urgency. I'm also of the opinion that our aged needs to be addressed because, I mean, I see it on a daily basis. People know that we have a rehab facility. It's no more the youngsters that comes to your door asking for bread. It's now grannies that are coming to your door asking for bread or something to eat. Again, I'm saying this is completely unacceptable. As a society, we shouldn't be tolerating this.
Thank you very much for that, Rifaat. I think it's very important, the issues that Rifaat has raised. It is sobering. Food security, back to basics, getting the CBD of Athlone. That's a great campaign. It's something that we really need to push, because you see, local economy, we really need to keep our money in this area. And we need to encourage entrepreneurship. I remember that when this place was a vibrant place.
Absolutely.
There was a local shop, there was a local supermarket, everything.
There was a cinema, there was a nightclub, there was everything that you could possibly want for a CBD was in the Athlone CBD. Now we don't have these services and facilities anymore. And I'm also somewhat disturbed by the fact, I mean, and I will go on record and state this. The other day, I questioned the manager at ShopRite. There wasn't a single toll packer. And they all said to me, no, it was the long weekend. All our toll packers went to the Eastern Cape for the long weekend. Yet, there are able-bodied people that are standing on the streets in front of ShopRite, and they can't get the jobs. So I find that to be also unacceptable. ShopRite is situated in Athlone. It services the people of Athlone. So therefore, I believe that the people of Athlone should be given the first opportunity at employment.
Yeah, I think that's very critical issues that's been raised. Miranda, you're frowning, but I think there is we need to look at localization. I think there is a point to be made for locals to also be part of the economy.
Of the economy,
So
definitely.
that,
I think,
coming.
I think if I listened to the president last night, I mean, in terms of how the processes was done in the ANC, for me, I am passionate about my ANC. I'm a child of the ANC. But don't get me wrong, I'm loyal, but never blind loyal. I'm loyal to the African National Congress and not to a person. Therefore, I can safely say, if I do, I will serve my community to the best of how I think as well. Because you know what? If I look at the pledge that our president has spelled out clearly, for me, the one thing that spells out is a pledge to spare no effort in rooting out corruptions and all forms of nepotism and malefficiencies in our organization at all levels of government. And I hear your plight, Rifaat. I really hear your plight about the upliftment of the Athlone, the CBD, the vibrancy. Because I grew up coming from Silverton, going to Athlone with my mom. But like I said, is we need to be tolerant of each other. And I get what you're saying. We must lift up our youth, our localized youth, and our economy in Athlone. And it's us that can make the difference. It's you that wants, and I can hear the passion in your voice, that you are passionate about Athlone, but we must be tolerant. We must be mindful of what we do and how we do things.
Let me come in here now that you raised the issue of the manifesto, the ANC manifesto.
Yeah.
He spoke last night and he launched the ANC manifesto. Obviously, it was a difficult manifesto because the president was quite strong and said, look, we have made mistakes. And he humbled himself and asked for South Africans to give the ANC another chance. He raised all the issues of what people wanted to hear. We wanted basic services. We wanted the economy that works for us. We wanted youth opportunities. We want safer communities. He raised all of those things. What was the key striking thing for each one of you out of the manifesto that you can localize and make your own as your pledge to our communities that you want to represent?
I would like to go first. For me, Comrade Faiez, it would be listening. Not just put me there because I'm there. I need to listen to my community. What is their grievances? What is their challenges that they have? I need to be answerable. It's like the president says, don't take me just for the sake, I'm a woman, I'm a Black woman, so I need to be on a pole. No, I'm there to serve. And I'm there to serve in my capacity as Miranda Abrams of Ward 60. The challenge that they have might be different to the challenges that Ward 49 have, but we have the same challenge and the same vision that the president have to be there, to listen, to advance everything that the president is talking about and what I want to advance for my community. And that is the important fundamental issue for me is what am I going to do to make a difference? I don't want to be there just to glorify my name and put on a pole. I need to be that difference. I am the difference.
Miranda, what are you taking away from the manifesto last night?
I think basically it's going to boil down to, like Miranda said, it's going to boil down to listening to your community, being part of your community, delivering a service to the community, and not excluding your community from all the services that the city has to offer. We need to expose our people to every single service available to our community, whether it comes to a funeral arrangement for a financially challenged family, or whether it's applying for an indigent rate in terms of municipal accounts for the people of our community. These are things that, and I found that a lot of the people are not aware of the services that the city is offering. And these are the things that we need to carry over to our community. We need to say, but we can do that. And if we can do something about it, then we should be that person to actually go out there and do it for the people. I want to see Athlone becoming great again. I want to see that vibrancy in Athlone once again. I want to see that white elephant known as the Athlone Stadium. I want to see as soon as we are back down to the levels. I don't want all the big shows to go. I come from an entertainment background. So I would like to see an international act perform at Athlone Stadium. I want to see that happen. And believe me, I have the contacts and the know-how to make it happen. So I want to see that happening for our people. I want to see some good rugby matches, international matches, good soccer matches, international matches happening at Athlone Stadium. I want to see our arts community being uplifted and brought back to the international and national platforms. I would like to see that no kid in my ward will ever go to bed hungry. That is one of the things that I am dead set on that. There will not be a single kid in my ward that goes to bed hungry at night. I want to see all those youth that have been affected and infected by substance misuse. I would like to see those kids being given the opportunity, if they have the will and determination to change their lives. I want them to have a real chance at going through rehabilitation processes. And these are all services that can be made available through our services as ward councillors.
Great inputs, guys. Let me also just put my 2 cents worth here. I think what I'm picking up is also that you want to do change for our communities. You want to do good, but you want to take our communities with you. There's a lot of opportunities that our communities are not either knowledgeable of or capable of taking. So let's take one example. Rifaat, we know that there's a program called Second Chances for matriculants or post-leavers, but the system is failing us. The system is not allowing those kids to be able to take, because if you just walk across where we are in Q-Town, it's a particular gang-infested area, and the conditions under which matrics, last year, there was a matriculant that was shot. And so we said this offer must be made available for youngsters to come and learn. So I think you're right that we want to take our communities with, but how do we empower communities? How do we educate? How do we get our parents to take responsibilities? How do we ensure that we move away from the welfare mentality that we have? Because our lines is always very long. Our people are always at the second class. They feel victimized. They feel they're not worthy enough. They're not black enough. They're not white enough. How do we get them away from that mindset of being a victim to actually embrace all the opportunities that South Africa, as the Western Cape, and as Athlone can offer? I think those are the key questions that also I am, as a member of parliament, is grappling. Any thoughts on that?
Miranda?
Miranda, you muted.
I'm sorry. I didn't catch it really what you want me to answer, Faiez.
No, I was just saying, I was just talking a bit about, yes, we as candidates and public reps must do more, and that's what the pledge is saying. The pledge is saying that we must do better, we must serve better, we will deal with corruption, honest leaders, we will focus on service delivery, accountability. But the Rifaat is also is a term that I called active citizenry or empowered community, where we take our communities with. We don't just provide a handout or a grant or a this, but how do we empower our locals to take the opportunities?
It's all about creating.
For me, comment is when we serve with humility. You go to the ground. How did we operate in the 80s? Please tell me. We worked from the gangster to the mommy in the church. Everybody was in the broad church. So for me, we must go back to basics, but we need to humble ourselves. We are no better than the one standing on the corner. We are no better than the mommy that's standing in that long line. There is no, even in our lines, in the SASSA line, we need to go to those SASSA lines and protect our people. Who's our people? Whether it's in Langa, whether it's in Bonteheuwel, whether it's wherever, in Cape Town. The point is, we are servants of the people and we have to serve the people. I think for me personally, when I'm up there, doesn't mean that I'm better than the one that's sitting there in Bokmakiri or the one that's sitting in the social worker in, because I've been elected by the people to serve the people. And this is not a rhetoric thing that I'm talking about. I do not want to be even labeled that this is the saying of the ANC. This is what I want to be, that person that is going to the people. My fundamental thing for me is serve with humility. And I will go back to that, we want to make a difference and we must be the difference. So when I go to Athlone and I stand in that line, I must be there to protect my people. I'm very passionate about my people, very passionate. I think Ward 60 has its own challenges. But for me, whether you're in Langa or whether you're in Q-Town, you are my people. That's the people I want to fight with, or to fight for, not with for.
Okay, we say we got to that.
You know, Miranda, I can tell you something, on Heritage Day, I was horrified when we decided to do pap and chakalaka sauce and chicken and boerewors on Heritage Day to hand out. There were people sitting in the front of the SASA office here where Ackermans is, next to the train line. And people, I think we must have served approximately 70 to 80 people there. Now, these are people that were sitting there, waiting in line, not to lose their places, and they were prepared to sit there until Monday. Now, just think about what I'm saying. They're sitting there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and waiting until Monday. And this, I've got video evidence to prove this. Now, to me, something is not right. When I see things like that, I really have to question, where are the people that should be serving our people? I have to ask that. Why is it that I find an old lady sitting in a queue because she doesn't want to lose a place for Monday morning? It is completely unacceptable. And I like what you said, that we as public representatives, we need to serve with humility. And I believe that we cannot serve our people if we are going to be stuck in an office. We need to be with the people and for the people at grassroots level. If there's a problem, we need to be there. We need to be part of the solution of the problem within that community, or with even as simple as within that family. I mean, I just look at this boy, this 12-year-old boy. I mean, standing there with a knife, wanting to stab the father because there's dakhatak. I mean, that is, something is not right. There's something wrong in our society as a whole, if it can escalate to that point.
Is, I think, the most important, if not the only important one for me, because this is where our structures is on the ground, right? So your national and your provincial parliaments that you have, we need capacity in on our local level. For me, the local government elections are one of the most important, because we're going to speak for our people. National and provincial doesn't know what's happening on the ground. We should be the mouthpiece to the provincial and to national. So for me, like I said, Ward 60, here I come. Let's see what we can do. I know all my old activists are there, so please support me. It's not supporting me, it's supporting me to support all of us. So that's me, Miranda. Yeah, Ward 60.
I think from my side, I'm just going to make an appeal to the people of Ward 49. Let's forget party politics. Let us look at the bigger picture. I'm going to say, I've been part of the community for a good couple of years, since 1976. I'm going to say to the people of Ward 49, give me the opportunity to serve you. I have been serving you for the past 5 years in substance misuse. I've been serving you for the past 2 years through our community network organization. Now, if I've achieved so much with no platform, just imagine how much more I will be able to achieve for the people. And I said it in a previous video that I released, in which I said, John F. Kennedy, the former president, said, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. And I said, I'm going to make it a little bit more local. And I'm going to say, ask not what your counselor can do for you, but ask what you and your counselor can do and achieve together. So it's all about being inclusive. So from me, Rifaat Brouwers, I say thank you very much to Comrade Faiez and to Miranda Abrams, not forgetting the Hermans. I'm saying to you, thank you very much for your input this afternoon. And for the technical team behind the scenes, Aisha, shukran so much. And I'm sure you're going to have a good time with your TikTok phenomenon moving forward.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Watch the space. Give our candidates an opportunity. They are people from our area. Hulle is van ons mense. And they make their plea. We will come into your areas. We are keen to come into your homes. COVID protocols we will observe. But if you stay in this area and if you want more information, contact us, contact them directly, and look forward to the you voting for them in the elections.
If I can just say something here, add something to this. People of Ward 49, I don't operate from an office. So you know what? I'm going to give my number on this platform, which is 061 400 4141. That's my number for the campaign. If you want to meet with me, if you want me to come and have a cup of coffee with you at your house, please feel free to drop me a line. If there are issues that you want addressed, whether I'm your counselor or not, go praat met my. We see what we can do to sort it out for you. That is what activism is all about. We can do it together as a team. And I want to be part of your team, Ward 49. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.